Hey everyone, StarCraft2edu here. We are continuing our drunk casting for the night. We're on
Drunk Cast Friday, game 4.
Game 4, and this game is brought to you by Marine AIDS Awareness. Don't share your stim packs because that's how. Oh my, that's just bad news. You get AIDS, Marine AIDS, future AIDS, and future.
50% of marine AIDS comes from stim pack.
That is a legitimate fact. 1 in 4, 1 in 2 Marines get AIDS through stim packs. The other one, the other half is through having sex with ghosts who are super hot. Oh
Dude,
my!
only that one goes.
Well, Nova, yeah.
Alright,
Anyway,
let's go see what Partygnome
this is
doing.
Partygnome. He sent us a couple replays a while ago. A shout out to Partygnome. Sorry, our game. We tried to upload a game earlier and it got corrupted. So here we're casting another game from Partygnome. He is the blue Terran in the top position on Xel'Naga Caverns. And his opponent is Ra, the red Zerg in the bottom position. Partygnome's opening with a supply depot, looking to block, and going pretty standard, just droning up right now. Not really doing too much. On this map, the expansion is really open because there's just so many entrances to it. You got 1, 2, there's a third one that can be destructed, and then a fourth one. So defending your natural on Xel'Naga Caverns is really important. And something that Terran players love to do is when they take their third base, they take this gold right here because it is right in the unit path to your natural. So looks like Partygnome is finishing off his block here just to deny any sort of scouting. And our Zerg player is opening up with spawning pool first and gas, probably looking to get some speed links.
Spawning pool at 14, pretty standard opening for the Zerg player here. One thing Partygnome does do is he pulls a second SCV to finish his block off early. Not really important. I like to keep that SCV mining. You don't need to block this early. Even a 6 pool is not going to make it there before you start your second supply depot. So pulling the second SCV isn't really vital. You can just have one SCV be building constantly and you'll be fine.
You'll notice that Partygnome still hasn't taken it, just now taking his gas. He's opting for a 2-rack opener, which against Zerg is actually pretty standard. Against Zerg, you can open up with 2 naked barracks and not get the gas and put some really heavy pressure on with Marines if that's your play style. So looks like though our Zerg player is what's up? He's got a lot of gas, yeah. He needs to get his Zergling speed because you see he's got 100 gas. He should probably get that Zergling speed but instead it looks like he's looking to expand right now. Oh no, going for the Roach Warren. That's what he's going for. That's what he wants the early gas for. He's getting a Roach Warren on one base, trying to put some pressure on. You'll notice his drone's actually scouting for a proxy rack or anything suspicious going on. So good eyes there on the Zerg player. And now transitioning into
a late GLHF.
Or late GLHF.
Better late than never, though. Good manners.
Good manners.
Just say GLHF.
GLHF.
It's not going to kill you.
It's not going to kill you. Now, it looks like Partygnome, if you notice, he only has 2 harvesters on this gas. Make sure you have 3, just something to double check. If you have nothing to click on, just make sure, you got 3 harvesters going. So we'll actually watch this and make sure that if he ever notices and gets that third one, because that is a lot of gas. When you only have 6, or you're supposed to have 6, and you only have 5, that is a lot missing. And now dropping a factory, kind of adding on with the just how to spend this gas.
Got some early roaches coming out for our red Zerg player. 5 roaches on the way, and he's now taking his second gas. That's all I have to say.
Do you think Blue's looking for a early siege tank? Is that why he's going heavy gas, or is there going to be a Banshee play here?
That's a good observation, Zergburger.
Thanks, Delmage.
You're right. Yeah. So the only reason you would ever really go 2 gas that early for Terran is if you're trying to pound out some siege tanks really quick.
But going for a reactor.
Looks like he's building a reactor though, so he could be going for some Helion harassment. That's really the only reason you would ever build a reactor on a factory. But always a good idea against Zerg. Well, not always, but it's generally a good idea against Zerg. Helions take out Zerglings very well. Not a lot of scouting going on though, so honestly, Partygnome doesn't really know what our Zerg player is up to, so he doesn't. Going blind Hellions is never. Going blind anything is never really a good idea.
Yeah.
You always want to scout your opponent and build the counters to what they're building.
Because-
So if you're Zerg, sacrifice an Overlord, usually around the 7-8 minute mark. Sacrifice an Overlord, fly it into their base, just see what they're building, build the counters to it. Terran, you know, usually, we've got a hot swap going on. Could be good. Anyway, as I was saying, if you're Terran, you know, you're getting those mules going, but, you know, every once in a while, just save up 50 energy, use it for a scan, see what your enemy's doing. It's always good to do right around the 8-minute mark. We do have... Oh, he canceled it. Yep, nope. We have 2 barracks going down. Bunkers, sorry. That's kind of wasteful. Not really necessary.
Well, I mean, you can refund them.
You can refund them, but it's not really necessary at this point in the game, and they're a little bit too far back to be doing much anyway.
No. So, if you notice, guys, with a little scouting, even an SCV or a scan or a Marine... Now, our Zerg... Oh, excuse me. I have to burp again. Oh yeah, that's the beer burps.
Oh, Drunkcast Friday.
Oh, Drunkcast Friday beer burps. Hell yes. Now with a little scouting, you'll our Partygnome would have noticed that our Zerg player is just building heavy roaches, and he's starting to produce some siege tanks. But all he has as far as infantry is Marines. So if he knew this, this one barracks here could have produced some extra marauders with the siege tanks to really help.
That starport
Yeah.
could really come into huge play because he could have gone Banshees rather than just medevacs, I'm assuming. If you don't have any air defense by closing on 9-10 minutes, you're flirting with death. You're flirting with death.
He's got 2 queens, that's it.
Anytime you're doing that. Zerg, you have to watch for the Banshee rush, period.
Now Zerg, if the Zerg player gets caught not knowing about the Banshee rush, you're pretty stuck. But if you do scout the Banshee rush with a sacrifice Overlord, see if you just place it here and then in the 8-minute mark you fly it in and you see he's going Banshees. If he was, all you have to do is build 2 extra queens, 1 at each base, and 2 queens, and then you run down wherever the Banshees are attacking. You run the other queen over, and that's all it takes to hold off any early Banshee aggression. Now you can see our Terran player is turtling in very hard, but if we take a look at the site here, you'll notice he doesn't even know he has a second base up. He hasn't even seen the Roach Warren. He is playing completely blind, and our Zerg player doesn't even, as far as he's concerned, he doesn't even know where his command center is right now. So you need definitely scouting, sacrificing Overlords every about 8 minutes, and then if you need any more from there, and using scans, the scouting, because right now he's going Marines up against Roaches with this drop, and you're going to see how this turns out. He doesn't even have that many drones here because he's been one base roaching for so long.
If you guys notice here, this Overlord spots this medevac a mile away. Good placement by the Zerg player here, and Partygnome's trying to fly this medevac around looking for a good place to drop, but he doesn't have the element of surprise anymore, so even if he gets a drop up here, it's not going to do much. But he is scouting. He is going to see this spire if he's looking for it. Yeah, lost a Marine. Only lost 1 though, so not bad, but he didn't do any damage.
He could lose
he could lose the medevac if he doesn't get out of here. This Queen's picking away. Nope. He's going to get away.
But he saw the spire.
But he did see the spire. He did get some scouting done, so that's good. If you're going for a very serious drop, though, if you're going to try and actually do a lot of damage with the drop, you're going to want to send... There's some mutas chasing down this medevac. He doesn't know where the medevac is, but he knows it went in this direction. Anyway, as I was saying, try and bring in 2 medevacs full of Marines Marauders. A nice little mix there. If you're trying to do good damage. If you're trying to do a lot of damage.
If you're trying to go for a mass damage, definitely 2 to 3, even 4 medevacs is good. But if you're kind of going for a 2-pronged attack with a harassment medevac, you can still stick with 1. Because if there was a middle field engagement going on, and then you fly a single medevac in here, that 1 medevac does a lot of damage. But now the siege tank is way caught out of position, forces the stim, and only loses 1 medevac, or only loses 1 mutalisk. And now these medevacs have to drain a lot of energy healing up all these Marines. And now you can see how just dealing with mutalisk can be really annoying. And did he force another stim? He did. Oh my God, so many Marines sharing stim packs right now. This just like
There's AIDS everywhere.
there are AIDS everywhere. We're probably offending somebody by saying that.
Yeah, probably. Sorry if anyone has AIDS.
Sorry if anyone has AIDS.
One good thing to note here, though, is Partygnome did bring some Marines back into his main just in case some Mutalisks swooped around. Pretty good play here. Although he could have left one medevac up with them because of a sizable ball of Mutalisk will even take out stimmed Marines, but this is not a sizable ball, so the amount of Marines he has up there is fine. So as you can see, though, these Mutalisks are just continuing to poke around. I would have gone, yep, now he's going over. He's going to try and see what he sees up here. He's going to scout around a little bit in the process, but the Marines are there pushing him away. Still didn't really see any of the base, and now we have some Vikings coming out to chase. And the Marines coming in to back up the Vikings just in case the Mutalisks decided to try and turn around. Yeah. If the Mutalisks would have tried to turn around, they would have probably all died in that situation. So
something that Partygnome could do better here is he's been really pounding out the stims, although he does have medevacs, and energy does recharge, and he has a decent amount. But with this amount of Marines, if our Zerg player decides he doesn't even have speed on these Zerglings yet.
See, if I was Zerg... Not only would I have speed, but I would be pumping Banelings right now. There's the Banelings.
There we go. When you see the Mass Marine against Terran, get the Banelings out with speed. 20 Banelings.
Even against siege tanks, if you have enough Banelings, some of them will make it through the siege wall and blow up the Marines. That's always my philosophy. You get enough Banelings, you're still going to make it through even with mech.
It only takes 2 Banelings to kill as many Marines as that splash hits. So you notice that our players are staying now. They're staying a little bit better on top of our macro. Our Zerg player, though, he sees the defensive position. We have bunkers going up, siege tanks on the high ground, missile turrets going up, a huge oversaturation going on in the main. You'll notice that because of the late second natural expansion timing, there's a lot of SCVs here not doing anything, just taking up room. They need to be transferred down immediately. Also, make your second base an orbital command as soon as possible. Don't queue up SCVs. But you notice our Zerg player is going to move out here. He's got roaches and oh my God, Banelings.
He doesn't have the Baneling roll though.
No Baneling. Our Zerg player, if you're a Zerg player, get your speed for your Zerglings, get your speed for your Banelings.
Especially when you're not on creep.
16 minutes in, you need to have the roll.
Yeah, Zerg. If you're going to hear Zergburger, 16 minutes in, you should have the rolling by now. But here comes the attack. Our Partygnome needs to micro the Marines away from the Banelings, and here they come. There's the stim, and he's not microing it. Oh,
the green tide.
The green tide. It's just, that's what happens when you don't micro your Marines.
Run the Marines away from the Banelings.
Oh,
Stim and run.
Let's go back.
Okay.
We're going back.
We're jumping.
We're loading. And
to all you Terran players out there, if you're worried about Banelings, you think Banelings are overpowered, you don't know how to counter them, stim and run. Let the tanks soak up the Banelings. Who cares if you lose all your tanks? If your Marines live, the bulk of your armies lived, and you can come back. And with the medevacs, you'll be able to take out a good chunk of roaches. Marines with medevacs can actually stand up against roaches fairly well.
Now you'll notice Banelings do a bonus versus light, and that's what Marines count as. Siege tanks have 160 health, so that's like, what, 8 Banelings? Yeah. Right? My math is bad. I'm drunk.
I can't do math.
I'm drunk. We're drunk.
8.
It's Drunk Friday.
Drunk math!
Drunk Friday.
Drunk Friday. Anyway, so 8...
I'm a physicist.
You are a physicist. You should be better. Anyway, Banelings take... what do we say? However many Banelings to kill a siege tank is a lot more than Marines.
8 Banelings.
Now, you see, he has a very good wall here of siege tanks. Siege tanks destroy Banelings and Zerglings.
But his Marines are so clustered. Like, anytime that I lose and I'm going Banelings, it's because the Marines are spread out along the lines of, like, the siege tanks and such. And the Banelings don't do nearly enough damage.
If these Marines were back further, back here, protected.
I don't know. I don't know. When I play Terran... they don't have to start behind. The Marines can get a few shots in.
I just spread them out by twos.
Twos or threes. They're very clumped up right now. But with this very good siege tank placement, it is actually very good siege tank. And a bunker here, you'll notice he just leaves the Marines. Here, we're going to go in super slow-mo. Oh, God. Here they come right there.
You mean normal mo?
This is normal mo. They are way too close right now. If he takes all his Marines and runs them just to here, just so the siege tanks can get one more volley off each, and then this siege tank gets a shot, that many more Banelings will die, and just, you'll see, oh, God. Oh, that's just...
Even the bunker.
Even
This
the
is really-
bunker, that is worse than marine aids right there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
I take AIDS over acid any day.
Oh, yeah.
I can